We're going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to call our meeting to order and thank the staff here at Muhlenberg South Middle School for hosting our meeting tonight. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence, please. Thank you. For our pledge tonight, we have a student, 7th grade student and member of the Leadership Academy at South Middle School. Her name is Madison Woodall. She is the daughter of Mark and Kimberly Woodall. Madison.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madison.
Hey, neighbor.
Okay, board members, we're going to move down to approving the minutes from the prior board meeting. You've all had a chance to review these in your packets.
I'd just like to make a comment. Doesn't have to change the minutes, but at the last meeting when we were talking about data records management services, Ms. Lavelle questioned whether it was on the Secretary of State, and not that I was questioning the staff and their recommendation, but I was able to find it on there. So I just wanted that clarified that they are a company and they have a website as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Johar to approve the minutes. And I'll second. All in favor of approving the minutes of the prior board meeting, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Down to the approval of the agenda. Does anyone have anything they want to bring forward? If not, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Wells.
Second.
Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We'll go down to recognitions, and we have no recognitions tonight, so Ms. Embry's off the hook. Oh, that's fine. And we'll go on down to the treasurer's report now with Mr. Bletzinger.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. Tonight I bring you the financials as of September 30th, 2018. As always, we'll start with the revenues. At this time, the beginning balance is $19 million. The beginning balance is down about $1.5 million at this time. And this will catch up as soon as we start getting property taxes in. Our monthly receipts are down $81,000. SEEK remains unchanged. Federal's down about $12,000. State is down $129,000. Taxes are down $43,000. Other is down $146,000, while food service is up $234,000. For a total of $2.197 million. And then total revenues with cash, securities, and receipts is $21.2 million. Again, monthly receipts are down $66,000 from the same period of last year. However, overall receipts with the total revenues and securities is up by $900,000, mainly due to beginning balance. On to the expenditures. This month, in September, there was $1.4 million in accounts payable. $661,822 was general fund, grants, and daycare. Debt service was about $546,000. Construction, a little over $3,000, and food service was approximately $198,000. Again, for $1.4 million. Payroll was $2.724 million for a total expense of $4.134 million. Accounts payable is down about $430,000 from the same period of last year. It's up by that, but that's mainly in debt service. Significant bills in September were $531,598 paid to Old National Wealth Management. $37,000 paid to Academic Edge, and $26,000 paid to Bachman Auto Group. That was for the maintenance van. The payroll, we had a gross pay of about $2.4 million with almost $800,000 in employee deductions, which resulted in a net pay of about $1.6 million. Almost $400,000 in taxes were taken out. $51,000 was paid in KTRS. And CERS was $177,000. Insurance was $93,000, and other was $359,000. So the accounts payable breakdown, fixed and mixed expenses was $997,000. Utilities expense was $130,000, and variable expenses were $303,000. A further breakdown of that total accounts payable, general fund was $550,000, special revenue or Fund 2 was $130,000. Construction was, well, again, a little over $3,000. Debt service was $546,000, and food service was about $200,000. The ledger balance at the close of the month was about $17 million. The bank balance was about $9.7 million. Outstanding checks was $1.3 million, and the cash at the close of the month was about $8.4 million. Breakdown of that, the cash balance, general fund was $9.3 million. Special revenue was negative $437,000. Construction was $959,000. Debt services was at $1.5 million. Food service, $80,000. Daycare, $66,777, and investment is $8.6 million. The extended financial picture through February, 6-month projection through February of 2019, we expect to have about $15.8 million in cash and holdings. Any questions?
That reflects the TDA money coming in February, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And the timing on that varies. Sometimes we get it in January, sometimes February. It's been as late as March.
And what was the amount we received this year, or the previous, as of June 30th of 2000?
About $6.8 million.
6.8 million?
Are there any further questions or discussion on the treasurer's report? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
A motion by Mr. Johar,
Second.
second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of approving the treasurer's report, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Payments of bills and salaries, Mr. Blitzinger.
Thank you again, Chairman Rager and board members. This month I bring $304,659.39 to you in board bills. Of that, almost $274,000 is general fund. Fund 2 is about $28,000. Construction is $2,000, and food service / daycare is $426. Of the significant checks that are $35,775 to Houghton Mifflin, which is a textbook purchase.
What was total payroll this month?
$2.7 million.
2.7?
Yes, ma'am.
If there's no further discussion, I make a motion to approve payment of bills and salaries. Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of payment of bills and salaries, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And payment of school bills.
There were no significant bills this month.
I make a motion to approve payment of school bills.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of paying school bills, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none.
Thank you.
Thank you. Down to public participation. We don't have any on there. So we're going down to the administrative reports and the superintendent report, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. Board members, we're going to go ahead and start off with our principals' reports, sharing out. So first, I want to thank Mr. Lyle for hosting us tonight, and we'll let you start tonight, Mr. Lyle.
Just a few things here to share. First of all, Ms. Debbie Randolph applied for a grant and she received that. And so we have our Parent Plus program going right now. And one thing that we have that is currently underway is our financial peace class with Dave Ramsey. And we have 11 parents who are coming to that. Some are parents of our students, some are parents from other places. But it's totally free. And if you were to sign up for this, it would cost quite a bit of money. But through the grant, we've been able to do that free. So it's a great compliment to Ms. Randolph for her hard work. And then Mark Hall for helping us out. Mark Foundation for helping us out with that as well. In September, we had our Thank You Thursday for first responders, and several come out for that, so we greatly appreciate their work. In October, our Thank You Thursday is next Thursday, and that will be for our Southfield bus drivers and all of our bus garage staff. Thanking them for the work that they do for our students in our schools. And last, today we had our flight squad come with us today, and I know they were in North Middle and ALC as well. You'll probably hear a little bit about that from the other principals. They came in and talked to our students about bullying and making good decisions, and they're a basketball team. And tonight at 6:30, they'll be at the Convention Center in Central City playing Patrick Patrol, Patrick Sparks, and some of our local clubs. So, get an opportunity to put in. Make sure to go out and be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lyle. Mr. Rager, North Middle.
On September 26th and 27th, we had 21 Beta students go to Bowling Green for a leadership summit, and they participated in some various service programs. We had 3 groups advanced to nationals. One was in Service Snapshot, and that's where they kind of went ahead and followed through with the service project they did last year, where they took a step further. Last year, they gave out toboggans, scarves, and mittens to preschools in not only Muhlenberg County, but in Ohio County. And now they're going to take a step further, and they're going to donate non-skid socks to nursing homes. So that's going to be part of their project. Then we had another group that did something called Think Outside the Box. They got a problem on day 1, and then on day 2, they had to make a 2-minute presentation on how they would solve the problem, and then they had a question and answer session. And then the third group was called Rapid Response Challenge. They were given a series of different challenges that they had to solve in a given amount of time. So all 3 of those groups advanced to the national convention in Oklahoma City. Our mentoring program, we currently have 13 active mentors with students now. Great feedback from the students, from the mentors, and from the teachers. So the mentors are making a difference in these kids. So we got a lot of positive feedback with that, and from the parents as well. We're in the process of finalizing our mother-daughter and father-son night that we're going to be doing in November. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rager. Mr. Watkins, Renaissance Center.
Yes, we were fortunate enough to have 2 speakers this week. Actually, yesterday, Rick Brown came by and spoke to our students about school safety, both in and out of school, things to look forward for. We also talked about soft skills, utilizing soft skills in school and in the community. And then Mr. Miles said we had the white team came by today, 3 different speakers. Each had a different message, a different story. They talked about decision making, focusing on your passion, making those second chances. Lastly, right before fall break, we had 4 students who successfully completed our program and went back to their respective campuses. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins. Ms. Bump from the high school.
As always, lots of events happening at the high school. So I'll start with a shameless plug for our Mustang Drama Department. They do have their first production coming up this fall. It actually begins on October 25th, 26th, and 27th. It's a murder mystery dinner, and it's called Murders in the Air, HEIR. It'll be in Martin Hall. The dinner begins at 6:30 with the play or the production is scheduled to begin at 7. The Cold Bucket scholarships at Gilbert County High School. As a matter of fact, Mr. Davis was there one day when we were able to learn that Victoria McPherson had been awarded the Regent Scholarship from Murray State University, which is a $35,000 scholarship over the course of 4 years. In the process of celebrating that, Hannah Abney made it known very quickly that she too had received that same scholarship. So quite pleased with the excitement that our students are hearing, and will continue to get more of that scholarship opportunity. And last but certainly not least, Ms. Davis, I don't want to steal any thunder from you, so if you're going to present those, I'll let. Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so last but certainly not least, this week, hot off the press, our graduating class of 2018, we received their overall ACT results. Those ACT results are the multiple times that those students took the ACT throughout their high school career. They take the highest score of each of the sections and average that all together. So the first number I'll give you is the graduating class of 2017, and then I'll give you the comparison of the 2018 graduating class. In the area of English, the 2017 score was 18.1, for the 2018 class at 18.8. In the area of math, in 2017, 17.8, and in the class of 2018, 18.6. In the area of reading, our score from 17 was 19.3, and the graduating class of 2018 scored a 20. In science, we went from an 18.6 to a 19.4, with the overall composite from 2017 of 18.6 to a 19.3. So with the various boot camps that we are hosting at the high school, we're trying to target various seniors as they continue to get ready to graduate and take that next step into technical college or even that 4-year degree. Very excited about how much work our staff is doing, and definitely our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bumps. Congratulations. Mr. Wells, South Elementary School.
We have our thing here fully open, operational. So to give you some numbers that we've got right now. We started during the 14th Monday. We've got 20 students that are in the children that are in the 4 to 5-year-old class. We've got 8 that are in the 2 to 3-year-old class. Right now we're averaging about 8 after school. Full-time students, we're right at 9. So we're looking for full-time students. We're trying to open some spots in the 4 and 5-year class for that school. I want to thank the Board of Education, all the folks at the central office, and the folks back at South Elementary that helped get this daycare up and running. We are fully open. We are doing parent-teacher conferences tonight. When I left, I was buzzing with that folks coming in and out. Got that going on. So a lot of smiles. Students and parents were leaving, which was encouraging. We had 20 to 30 students stay after school today for our Christmas play audition. So we're excited to see all those students now. Last week before fall break, we had a group of actors come in, 2 actors, and did a play called Frankenstein. It was a play off of Frankenstein. They brought in Frankenstein in and tried to relate that to things that are in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So that's all we have in South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Wells, and congratulations on getting the daycare up and running. I know that's been a job. It sounds like it's on the right track. I think Mr. Hardison is helping at the volleyball regional finals, so I believe Ms. Bruce, I believe you have some young ones that are going to entertain us at some point.
Tonight, I am excited that we have some kindergartners join us. They have participated in the ABC boot camp. And tonight, we have 3 of our kindergarten teachers here. Unfortunately, one has another job that she had to work. We have Whitney Cruz, PSA, and Terry Eads. And Whitney is going to take us some minutes, and she's going to kind of tell you about how the boot camp works.
Yeah, we should have one.
That letter G is for goldfish.
They have to be nervous. I thought G is for good, like me. No?
Just to show you all our hard work.
Perfect. Good job.
Yeah. Nice job.
Great job, guys.
Great job.
Great job.
Good job.
I'm gonna cut down my shopping budget.
Yeah. Nice.
We kind of needed a microphone, but you know what? That's just icing on the cake. All they had to do was stand there and look cute, and that was good. So outstanding job, students. Thank you. Ms. Jones, Greenville Elementary, you followed that.
All right, all of that. This past Tuesday, we had our family day night conferences. We were really pleased with our participation. We had over 400. That was 222 students attended and 201 parents. So we were really excited about the turnout. Families were able to visit classrooms, get grade cards, review the students' data notebooks. We also opened our computer lab because we encouraged parents to sign up for Parent Portal on the campus. And we had a parent survey, and we were, again, very pleased with the participation. Got some good feedback from that. Also on the 16th that day, Jeremy Biggs, Native American Jeremy Biggs, visited with our 3rd through 5th grades. He had a conflict for the evening. He was supposed to be back for our family night. He could not return, but he is going to come back on November 13th at 5:30. So I invite you, anyone, to come out. He has a really great program, and we will have some other activities that evening as well. In soft skills, our 4th and 5th grade want to focus on meal tonight because they just finished their 4-H club. They just elected officials in their clubs. To give an example of how comfortable the students are getting up and speaking in front of others, like one example from one classroom is 22 out of the 24 students in the classroom ran for office. So they had some very good competition, a good race in those classrooms. Our work ready trips are going very well. Kindergarten through 3rd grade all completed theirs before the fall break. We have 5th grade going to Gresham University tomorrow, and 4th grade will be going to Madison Community College on November 2nd. And our fall festival is October 26th from 5 to 8. So please come out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Ms. Higgs, Central City.
I'll try to be very busy then, of course, with some of the highlights. Back into September, there are record studies and class song contest, which we really enjoyed. We had fun with the dancers in the building. Then the week before fall break is our health week. The 2 highlights of that week is we have a health fair. We have 17 booths set up. Some of those were booths from the community, but we also had students from Newburgh House, or Newburgh County High School from Athens, Steinhardt. But highway students and nursing students presented
Mr. Sharp, Bremen.
Our PTOs, a big thank you to them. We just ran a successful fall festival in September. We're also wrapping up the John Clark fundraiser. The primary teachers just had a visual phonics PD where they have symbols and things to help students with their phonics. I learned one for United. Q is actually two symbols because Q has a schwa sound on the end. So it's that's the second one. So anyway, it's good to learn that because I need to know things like that. Tomorrow is Cat Day. It's a big day for me. Cat Day tomorrow. Dad night is scheduled for next Thursday night, and that's where students go to house, they're done with their parents, learn their data. We're also getting ready for the Halloween costume parade. It's quite a large event in our school, so I ask any of you to come. You're more than welcome to. And it takes a long time to prepare for that. Trust me on that. We are very proud of I'm very proud of our teachers, our staff, our students. We got our paper test results in last month, and we were the #1 school in reading and math in the district, in the top 10% of writing. So just proud of their hard work and effort. We're scheduled to have a CSI math night, family math night, in November on the 8th, and it's a night based upon math, that they use the math to solve a riddle. It's kind of like CSI thing, so it's really cool. And we had, I was in a class and a student had a prompt, and the prompt was, any celebrity can come to your school, please, write to us. And the celebrity he wrote to was, he wanted Mr. Davis to come to school because he built the school from the ground up. So I'm going to have to meet with the student and talk to him about tall tables.
You should only say those things when you speak last, Mr. Sharp. At this time, our kindergartners have been fantastic, so I know you're probably going to want some pictures, Miss Embry. So if we have anyone that's been tonight, if y'all could head out with Miss Embry, she will take some pictures, and you're welcome to come back if you so choose. It's a little tough for me to see everyone, so as I finish up, I'll come here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about test scores. Mr. Perkins had to be out tonight, so he'll have some more specifics and go in a little deeper next time, but I did want to go ahead and mention a few things. We'll start with the high school, and some of these things have already been mentioned. As you know, we really had a focus on math as needed, and the high school in the proficient distinguished percentage went from 18% up to almost 28%. That's over a 50% increase. Now, we're still not pleased with that, let's be clear, but that is a nice jump. We did a lot of things to work on that. I know Ms. Bumps and her staff did, and I'm confident we're moving in the right direction. The graduation rate, Ms. Bumps, you can help me with this. This is the 4 or 5 year cohort, kind of 4 year. It went from 89.9% to 92.9%. So that's a nice jump. She has mentioned the ACT scores. I do not think she mentioned that the composite of 19.3 is the highest the high school since we put them together. That's the highest they've ever had. So those some nice numbers there. Again, be clear, on any of these numbers, we're never satisfied, but we do need to celebrate some victories. So those are definitely some things moving in the right direction. Our middle school, South Middle School, finished first in the region in both math and reading. North Middle School finished third in the region in reading and social studies. The combined district reading scores were overall first in the region in the middle school. In elementary, Grant's already mentioned that Bremen was first in the region in reading, and I think actually in social studies. And our district was second in the region in elementary in reading and science and social studies. So there's some strong scores there. Our concerns, our focus will continue to be on math. Reading, we're doing really, really well. Math, we are making strides, but we need to do better. So we'll continue to have things like the Kagan training we had last year. We'll continue to add things there. Our school visits will begin shortly. Each school will visit at least one other school, and I think that helped last year. And I want to say that this is, in all the years that I've been doing this, my 24th year, This is the hardest year to get a handle on what's been expected from the state and to get an understanding of the test scores. They were changing up until the day before they went public. We had some things were told us, and the next day it changed. So we're in a transition period. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're absolutely in a transition period. But we'll take these numbers. Some things are the same, and we're going to take what we can from that in conjunction with other things and figure out where to move forward. I also want to mention that yesterday was the first time I met with what I'm calling a council of councils. I had one site-based member from each school meet with me, and we talked safety, we talked soft skills, we talked how are we communicating in the district, and any programs or assembly type things for parents, like we had social media last year, that they would like to see. It lasted a good while. They were very positive about our schools, and so they're in the school, so that was good to hear. But I'll be meeting with them again as well. So once again, we'll be following up with more on scores as Matt gets back and we get a little deeper into them. But those are just some of the highlights and some of our concerns. And that concludes my superintendent's report. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move down to the personnel actions. Ms. Browning?
Good evening, everyone. In the area of personnel actions, September 13th through October 15th, 2018, certified personnel employment, there were 14 actions. Reassignment of certified personnel, 2 actions. Classified personnel employment, 15 actions. Resignation of classified personnel, 5. Reassignment of classified personnel, 5.
Thank you. The attendance and enrollment report, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. I have tonight attendance for our second month, which ended September 22nd. Our attendance percentage for the second month, 94.64, compared to last year, 94.95, down 3/100ths of a point for this month. Compared to last year, thought it'd be a little bit lower, but we're down 1/10 of a point, so hopefully we can make that difference up this third month. Enrollment, ending the second month, we had 4,516 compared to last year, 4,624. That's a difference of 108 from the previous month of last year, or at this time last year. Compared to the last day of school, which I believe was the 20th of May, we're down 28 students. And we're down 10 students from the first month. So we were at 4,526 for the first month, down 10. I did do a current enrollment just a while ago. We are up 2 students from the 4,516 to 4,518.
Any questions? Thank you. Okay, we'll move down to the board action items. Item A, approval of 2018 textbook purchase for Longest Elementary.
Good evening, Chairman Rager and board members. Longest Elementary's prepared a textbook plan, and they've outlined how they wish to spend a large portion of their textbook money. They have $1,696.44 in their textbook fund, and they're requesting to spend $1,350 on Benchmark Advanced. The actual decision paper doesn't say what subject area that is, but it's reading, and it's actually assessment materials. It's an assessment package that goes along with the reading materials that they had already purchased. So Benchmark Advanced is a framework for teaching that allows teachers at Longest to continue teaching the standards in a framework that's already established at their school. And this will leave Longest Elementary with a balance of $346.44 in carryover funds. I have to give kudos to Longest Elementary on this purchase because I had not seen a purchase where we were just purchasing a textbook package. It's normally part of the full package. So when I asked the state for approval, they did not give me approval, and so Longus was determined that this was really important and asked if I minded if they contacted the state to give them more details, and they pleaded their case and they were able to get this through. So I'm very proud of Longus for having perseverance on this particular purchase.
I need a motion to approve. I have a motion by Mr. Johar. Second by Ms. Lavelle. All in favor of approving the textbook purchase for Longus, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We'll go down to consider the memorandum of agreement with Georgetown College and the Muhlenberg County Board of Education. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. This is simply, I'm asking you to approve a memorandum of agreement with Georgetown College. They have a principal training program where they could get their certification at Georgetown just like they can at most other colleges, and it meets all the requirements of the state and EPSB.
Is there any discussion? If not, I need a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of approving the memorandum of agreement with Georgetown College, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And down to approve the BG1 option 1 or 2 for guaranteed energy savings contract project. Mr. Blitzen.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. I'm really excited about bringing this to you tonight, but I do want to pause 1 second and tell you that the Financial Peace University that they're having here is a fantastic financial education program. It teaches people how to become debt-free, aside from their mortgage. It teaches them to prepare for the future by having an emergency fund, college education, those things. So, I mean, it's phenomenal. I just wanted to say that's an awesome thing that they're doing here at South Middle. Anyway, really, like I said, we're really excited to bring this to you tonight because the original scope of the contract, or not really contract, but that we asked Harshaw Train to investigate was, again, a full renovation of the HVAC systems at East Campus, along with the central plant at West Campus, and then the other energy savings items that they would do with the other schools. Our discussions with Harshaw, I look back at all my models and really felt comfortable with putting forth $3 million cash in the district. And when that was discussed, they let me know that really the option to do a full renovation of both campuses, which are the same age, we'd have to be looking at these sorts of things here again in the near future. We could capitalize on some economies of scale and get both campuses done. So I asked them to look at that and give us two options, what's going to be the current option, and then looking at both campuses. So they did that. They came back, with, again, the original scope of the work would be a cost of $7.455 million. That includes bonding fees. Excuse me. But however, adding West Campus would bring the project to $9.29 million with a total cash outlay of actually under the $3 million. This is money that we've been putting back for quite some time now to prepare for this. And again, like we said, we only anticipated doing one, but really the opportunity to get this without having to pay contract managers twice, startup fees twice. We're looking at 25 to 30% savings up front that we can start capitalizing on right now. So at this time, what I'd like to ask the board is if we can pursue option 2, where the full renovation of both campuses is done. So that's what I'm asking for this evening.
So at our tax hearing, it was estimated $7 million for the HVAC.
Yes, ma'am.
Last month, we said, okay, here's the bid, $7.2 million. and now it's, the second proposal is 7.4 million, so it kind of keeps creeping up.
Well, it's a 7.2, but it also includes bonding fees, so, you know, there's a cost involved with borrowing funds, so that's what that
I'm going
is.
somewhere.
Okay.
So 7.4, and now, and that's for only East Campus. Now, we talk about enrollment, our enrollment's down. So when you look at saving, even though we're talking about saving in energy, we should also look at saving in other ways, and eventually, I think our enrollment will be so low that everybody would be at West Campus, so why even invest in HVAC at East Campus and spend $7+ million when we know our enrollment's gonna be down and everybody can be at West Campus, all of the high schoolers. Gosh, we won't have to bus over anymore, which is a horrible design. I mean, what is the whole principle of saying, well, we're gonna save here, but down the road, we really may not need that building because everybody will fit in one high school, because what, we're down 100 students already from, what, this time last year? Is this right? 100? So I'm just saying, what else are we looking at before we say yes for sure? Because it's looking as though it would be better to, or it would behoove us to study more of getting all the high schoolers on one campus.
So,
rather than sending-
and that's not my purview, however, I don't foresee them closing one of the campuses anytime in the near future, especially when that's one of the newer buildings, so it seems...
we have the new tech wing.
It seems less intelligent to close one of our newer buildings rather than an older building.
There's no scenario in the near future that would close that building.
Well, if you had all the students at...
There's still no scenario in the future that would close that building. Then we would have possibly other options, but we're not there yet. And this should have been asked when we discussed this before, we talked East Campus, so it's kind of odd that this is coming up now. But all those things do go, and we think through things. And all those things do go into consideration when we make these decisions or we ask these things. So I'll say again, there is no scenario in the near future that would close East Campus, even if we get to where they can all move to one building, which could happen as enrollment drops.
So what you're saying is that the design of having all the high school split should be looked at as to moving everybody at West Campus. Because, I mean, I don't think that the community cares for the busing back and forth currently. So we should look at that. But, so you're saying there would be another use on East Campus?
There is no way that we're going to close East Campus. It's one of the newer buildings.
They're the same age. And then West Campus has the tech wing, which is new.
I understand that they're the same age. Yes, I've said what I need to say.
But I'm just saying, have we looked at steps as what it might look like down the road? Again, from the tax hearing, it was 7 million, then the bid was 7.2, now it's 7.4, so that is creeping up, and now it's also, hey, for 9.2 million, you can turn right around and you can get West Campus.
So I guess my question then to you would be, if we could not save the taxpayers money up front by capitalizing on things that are gonna have to be done anyway, because the buildings are the same age, we're looking at things, we've spent $36,000 approximately this year alone on fixing wall units in each room at East Campus. And I'm sure Jimmy can speak to that even more so, however.
I can speak for that. My daughter goes there.
Right,
and
so.
I hear complaints all the time in summertime and wintertime, it's not heating or it's not cooling. Teachers are frustrated. I hear that myself.
Absolutely.
I guess the thought process
And we should be praying for having more students, better schools.
Yes,
the
exactly.
communities-
But economic
communities to
development
bring-
is not taking place. And so unfortunately, the scenario in the next, because the Highland grant that you proposed to us, February of 2016, we look at 1 to 2% decrease enrollment every year, and it's actually been more than that.
hopefully we go home to home next year and try to get people to come
I mean,
more
I'm
to
just
school.
saying, that's the projection, that's not my information, that's what Mr. Freeman shared with us on the Highland grant, is this right? High Road grant?
I forget the name of it, it was several years ago.
It's a high road, it was a high road.
High Road.
Yep.
And, I mean, so with reference to this, I'm positive. My concern is the comfort of the students' learning environment, as well as the staff that teach them. So, in order to get where we're going, with these positive steps, this is just another step in the right direction for these kids. So
Well,
that's
I
my
don't want them to
recommendation.
not be comfortable. I'm just saying, we should probably look at using the money in a wise scenario of what is it going to be? What's that building mean to us if we can put all of the students and don't have to transport kids from East Campus to West Campus, et
We would
cetera?
still be utilizing East Campus. We would most likely close one of the older schools if it even come to a point that we come to a discussion to have whether or not we needed to close the school regarding enrollment. And unfortunately, the decreased enrollment is not just one specific school. It's not just the high school. It's all of the schools combined that we have decreased enrollment in.
And
So
we
you
should
can't really
work
say,
7
well, it's
million.
East Campus or it's not East Campus.
I'm just saying, if that's the case, then what scenario are we mapping out for, like, the future, if we're gonna still use that building? Because right now, it's only used for freshmen and sophomore students.
I mean, if the enrollment got low enough, I'm sure that we could discuss as a
But we are
team
not hoping
moving
for
8th
enrollment.
or
That's
9th
the
and 10th grade
bad
over.
wish for the whole committee.
But there's no increased enrollment projected for the next, 5 years?
I think what you're trying to say is, while we may go to one campus, that building will be utilized, whether it's for closing down another building and you putting those students in that one because it's a newer building.
That's correct.
As opposed to this one that's an old high school building or
Right.
north or another
So you're
school.
saying that even though we would still close down a building to get whatever at East Campus? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you look at a scenario like Stephanie says, we would still use that, I understand. But then what buildings are you gonna close down to put people at East Campus and make it
The
a
oldest
primary
building.
location?
That would
You
be
see what I'm
future
saying?
I think that would be future discussion, but we know for a fact
And
we're
that's
going
part
to
of
be
the
using that building.
planning. That's part of the planning of, if you can get everybody in West Campus and not have to even spend the 7 million at East Campus and save the money, if you know that can happen, then why not do that now? And just spend the 2 million on whatever perks need to be done at West Campus, because that's where we can put all the high schoolers and save that money. And then take a walk down of how we would plan to use East Campus.
I think it takes a longer time of discussion to plan to move students over and change everything that they're doing. I think we've already looked at that when we had the Phase 2 project come about, is what we needed to do. When you talk about decreased enrollment, you're gonna have, like I said, various schools that have decreased, students from each school. I know we've talked repairs and things like that. Longest is one of the oldest schools, right? And you can't, the state doesn't, it's on their whatever list you call it. What
It's a
is it?
transitional school right now.
Right, so,
But we've taken care of Longest. We put a new roof on Longest last summer.
Right.
And so, we are meeting the needs there. I'm just saying, if it's gonna look like all the high schoolers, because we use East Campus for the freshmen and sophomores, if we can put them all on West Campus, then potentially we're saving ourselves at least the 7 million.
What would happen is, and I don't want to get ahead and because it hasn't happened yet, we're not to that point with enrollment, but it does look like we're heading that way, unfortunately. What would happen is that school, of course, this goes with votes and other things, but the planning would be, that campus would not close. This would close and move South Middle there potentially before that would. This building is much older, in much worse shape than that one. What we are assured of, what I'm telling you is going to happen, is that both campuses will be used by kids, regardless of what we do. We know we've got some older schools, and this is one, Longest is one, and there's some decisions to be made down the road, for sure. But any scenario that I could foresee at all would not close East Campus. Which means what we're planning on doing is going to be viable into the future as far as I can see.
So maybe we should get the planning committee together and then look and see before. Because part of that 9 million includes opportunities taking place here at South Middle.
That's how you achieve energy savings. I mean, so there are certain items that are being done at other schools that help you reduce energy usage, whereas, placing LED lighting, they use 20% of other fixtures, so you're reducing, lighting is about 20% of your electric bill.
Yeah.
So if you can reduce the usage there, you're saving money there. Again, the HVAC systems, the ability to do better controls on those, you're going to save money there. It's about $14,000 a month at West Campus for KU. And East Campus about $12,500. Those, if you can cut 30% out of those annually, you're looking in the hundreds of thousands. So, I mean, this is, plus, when you combine all the other energy savings, you're also creating better lighting environments for the kids as they're looking. We're doing water conservation efforts. So there's a whole gamut of items that actually help achieve these savings, which help pay for the bonding that would take place as well. So there's three avenues of financing: cash, our SFCC bonding, and the energy bonds. And the energy bonds are, the savings that are generated from that actually pay for the bonds. So you're paying for upgrades rather than pay it to KU. And I think that was something that we had issue with previously. So I think it's a smarter investment for our district, as well as the taxpayer and everyone else involved, that we pay for things that improve our schools, not just paying it to the electric company. I think that's a wise choice. And so I think this, if you go with option 2, which is what I'm asking for, is that we capitalize on these investment opportunities. In the private sector, it's called leveraging. For us, we're actually doing something that's going to help us save money. It's not necessarily going to generate money for us, but it's going to save money, which means we can improve the learning environment and pay for things as we go along. Yes, sir.
The additional work on East Campus, roughly $1.8 million, won't that energy savings in 10 years, won't that offset the cost of?
Absolutely.
So it's basically 10-year loan on $1.8 million. Mr. Banker there, we get a refund of $200,000, saving of $200,000 a year through the new system. In 10 years, it'll pay off $1.8 million, hopefully. Yeah.
So also, and this is worth mentioning, when you save on your power bill or you change your lights, this goes for anybody in the community, you change to the energy saving lights, that means there's less coal needed. Because that's what we need. We need electricity. We get it from coal. And so that almost hurts us in a sense because we're dependent on the TVA funds.
Well, but
you see
again,
what I'm saying? It's almost like, how eager do we want to be?
But see, ironically, we're not on TVA, we're on KU, so that's irrelevant in that respect. However, TVA funds are based on sales, and that's 9 states that are included in the TVA distribution of funds. So that's 9 states amounts of sales.
And I'm just saying, electricity, when we are being conscious of being so energy saving, it almost hurts us in the long run, regardless of how many states are paired with it. I mean, some folks have Penny Raw Electric, and if you have Penny Raw Electric, then you're paying a fee, some sort of what?
See, our TVA funds, they're based on sales. I don't care, or TVA doesn't care if it's solar, coal, gas, or durable running on a treadmill. It doesn't matter. It's electricity. We pay for a kilowatt hour, and that's it. So that's how the money comes to us.
But I'm just saying, if all the energy savings are adding up, that less and less is needed. And so there's potential that it could hurt our TVA in lieu of taxes. I mean,
that's out of our control at this point. I mean, we're really needing to discuss
So
like
if
the point of
our
this.
revenue goes down, I really absolutely want to be
Do we do it for $1.8
spending
million extra to
less
get both schools done or not? I mean, that's what it comes down to.
on electricity.
I can't control TVA or anything else.
Let's
So,
make a
I mean,
motion.
We need to look at what we've got right here in front of us and think about down the road and how it's gonna benefit our schools and our students and their
I
comfort.
hope we can bring more students to school, that's my prayer. That's what's gonna keep the community going and this economy going.
I'm gonna make a motion to consider option 2 as recommended.
Second.
Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving option 2 to go ahead and do both campuses and save the cost up front, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Opposed?
And we'll move on down to, the last one is award bid for primary depository for the Muhlenberg County Board of Education. Mr. Blitzing.
Thank you, Chairman Reagan. The Board of Education has used First Southern National Bank, which, First National Bank in Muhlenberg County for quite some time. They've done fantastic for us, and we're very grateful for that. But per KSBA, the depository should be bid on a regular schedule, and so an RFP was sent out a couple months ago, and 3 proposals were received. Our leadership team did review those proposals, and based on the interest rates and the amenities that we would be receiving, we'd recommend First Kentucky as the primary depository effective January 1st, 2019.
Make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor of approving the First Kentucky Bank for the bid for primary depository for the Muhlenberg County Board of Education, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
I will abstain due to my employment with First Southern.
And it will pass. And we'll go down to the board consent agenda. There's leave of absence requests, fundraising requests, and field trip requests. We've all had a chance to review those. If there is no discussion, I need a motion to approve the board consent agenda items.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Wells. Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the board consent agenda items, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Wells. Second by, all in favor?
Next time, bring moonshine.
Okay.
Bring it up.